The movie begins with a tense scene in a Finnish forest. A young girl named Alia is running away from a group of men chasing her through the trees. Later it becomes clear that these men are her family. In a desperate attempt to escape, she jumps into a nearby lake, but they catch her before she can drown. The scene then shifts to a bank where Rex, the main character, is standing in line. It looks like a routine visit, but in reality he came to see Madi, the girl he likes. Before he can finish talking to her, a group of armed men storms the bank, immediately killing the security guard and spreading terror everywhere. Among the customers, Rex notices a gun in a woman's bag. She is frozen with fear and cannot move. Rex tries to control himself despite his nerves until the bag suddenly falls into his lap. In a critical moment, he is forced to use the weapon and takes down the attackers. Later, Rex stands trial for murder. Even though his actions saved many lives, the judge sentences him to 8 years in prison, a decision that sparks wide controversy. The media is divided. Some call him a hero, while others accuse him of recklessness and excessive violence. After serving his sentence, Rex is released. The moment he steps out, he sees a magazine cover with his photo, still discussing the incident as if it just happened. He can no longer live in peace. Reporters and curious strangers follow him wherever he goes. It becomes clear that Rex is not the tough hero the media portrays, but an emotional man who suffers under pressure and noise. In a moment of frustration, he imagines throwing his desk at the people bothering him, but it remains only in his mind, showing his inner anger. While some see him as a savior, others see him as unstable. Rex visits a close friend and admits that he cannot stand this forced existence anymore. He decides to escape to Finland, inspired by a strange memory from prison. One day he shot a spitball out of his cell window, and another prisoner claimed it landed in Finland. For him, that is reason enough. We see a man running in fear through the forest, chased by people who look like the ones we saw earlier. Suddenly he is violently dragged away by a mysterious creature that lets out a terrifying sound, leaving behind an atmosphere of danger and mystery. Back at the airport, Rex notices a man filming him without permission. He also spots a couple watching him with suspicious interest. The more they record, the more uncomfortable he becomes, so he hides in the airport bathroom. But even there, he is not safe. The husband stares at him while he is urinating, and when he leaves, the man's wife gives him a chilling smile that sends shivers down his spine. After arriving in Finland, Rex waits at a taxi stand, unaware that another driver is watching him from a distance. Suddenly, this driver cuts the line and stops his car right in front of him. As soon as Rex gets in, the driver releases a sleeping gas from the window. Rex slowly loses consciousness and collapses. In a nearby house, a family seems ordinary as they prepare dinner, showing no signs of danger. But the shock is hidden in the basement. There, Rex wakes up with his hands tied and one of his legs amputated. He tries to scream, but his voice is restrained not by someone else, but by his own inner voice, which tells him to stay silent while also pushing him to express his pain. As he observes his surroundings, Rex quickly connects the dots. The strange couple he saw at the airport are his kidnappers, and the recurring sight of bicycles around the house suggests they are part of a local family. Despite his despair, he begins planning his escape, even with tight restraints limiting his movement. He decides to pretend he is still unconscious, hoping to buy time and avoid provoking them. Around midnight, while the rest of the family sleeps upstairs, the youngest child, Olavi, comes down out of curiosity after hearing noises from the basement. Rex struggles to loosen the ropes with his mouth, but the rope is far too thick. When the boy enters, Rex pretends to be unconscious. Then he realizes it is only a child and quickly makes a plan. He pulls the boy toward him with his amputated leg and traps him between his thighs, hoping to stop him from making noise or raising suspicion, ready to use him as a hostage if the kidnappers arrive. Soon after, his sister notices Olavi is missing and goes down to the basement to look for him. Here it is revealed that her name is Alia, the same girl we saw at the beginning of the film running away from her family in the forest. Rex threatens to break the boy's neck if she tries to hurt him, but in a moment of hesitation he feels an unexpected sympathy for the child. He releases him willingly, losing the only leverage he had. The family later finds Olavi unconscious and rushes him to the hospital. In a fit of anger, the mother slaps Alia, believing she is responsible for what happened. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that Alia is not like the rest of her family. In a silent moment of imagination, she smiles as she pictures herself married to Rex, a clear sign of her attraction to him from the very beginning. This shift gives Rex his first real glimmer of hope since being captured. As soon as the family rushes to the hospital, Alia goes down to the basement alone. She carefully treats Rex's leg wound, then opens her heart. She tells him how this family began their dark journey. Since the birth of their eldest brother, who showed signs of a rare disorder that made him bite his own father, even as an infant, the family decided to feed him human flesh. From that moment on, kidnapping victims became a daily routine. Alia, despite her silence on the outside, had always rejected this inside and carried deep guilt. She tried to escape more than once, but the family tracked her down relentlessly until she ended up locked inside a wooden cage built by her father. Now, she feels regret for Rex's fate, so she leaves a knife on the ground and urges him to pick it up himself to cut his ropes. As Rex begins to untie the rope, the three brothers suddenly appear and decide to execute him immediately. Rex falls back on his old tactic. He pretends to faint, and the trick works. In silence, his anger boils, and it becomes clear that this family of cannibals has chosen the wrong victim. When the brothers notice Rex's leg is bandaged, they grow suspicious of Alia and rush to search her room. But she is hiding in the basement, trying to escape. Unfortunately, one of the brothers finds her and drags her upstairs. In the midst of despair, Rex is injected with a strange substance that triggers uncontrollable hysterical laughter. Here, the film suddenly takes us back to the past, 8 years earlier, to the moment of the bank incident. We see Rex facing a group of armed men and killing them one by one to prevent a massacre. At that moment, his conscience was merciless, pushing him to make brutal decisions that some later justified as heroic. On that day, he tried to save Maddie, but one of the robbers noticed that Rex did not care who died as long as she survived. After freeing her, Rex fired his gun, and one of his bullets ricocheted, hitting a bank employee who had been hiding in a closet, killing him. At the trial, Rex was sentenced to 8 years in prison for endangering others. Because of the long sentence, Maddie, the woman he had saved, chose to end their relationship, refusing to wait for him. We return to the present. Rex regains consciousness to find the madman about to amputate his other leg. In a sudden strike, he kicks him hard, and the attacker rushes to get an anesthetic. Rex seizes the chance to finish cutting the rope. When the man returns, Rex drives the knife straight into his ear without hesitation. He wastes no time. He searches the room for anything that could help him. He finds ropes, sharp tools, and a metal golf club. He straps it to his amputated leg as a temporary prosthetic and uses it to stand and move. With difficulty, he climbs to the upper floor and manages to escape the basement. In that moment, his conscience whispers to him, "Do not forget to save Alia from this nightmare." When the parents return from the hospital, they are shocked to see bloodstains spread across the front of the house. But then they discover that their children are still asleep in their rooms. They gather them together and scold them harshly for letting Rex escape. Fearing that he might return with the police, they decide to flee to another house immediately. The shocking twist is that Rex has been hiding under the table the whole time. As soon as the parents move, he attacks them one by one with a nail gun, killing in cold blood. When he tries to fire at the mother, the gun runs out of nails, so he kicks her with the golf club attached to his amputated leg. One of the sons attempts to fight back, but Rex throws a knife with deadly accuracy, striking him down. In a critical moment, Alia kills her own mother, who had suddenly regained consciousness. Even though the family is destroyed, Rex and Alia realize the danger is not over yet. The eldest brother, a cannibal, is still waiting for them. The monster comes down the stairs, his massive body almost filling the hallway. He attacks Rex with brutal force, as if crushing an insect. But Rex refuses to give up in a desperate fight. He clings to the door of a refrigerator and notices a piece of his right leg preserved inside. He smiles, realizing it was never eaten. He shoves it into the monster's mouth and finishes him once and for all. After the nightmare ends, Rex leaves Finland with Alia and heads to America, where they decide to start a new life together. One night, we see them spending time with new friends. Alia notices a girl looking at Rex with interest, and jealousy begins to boil inside her. In a fleeting moment, she imagines herself killing the girl, hinting that she has a dark side just as dangerous. In a shocking final scene, the young boy Olavi wakes up in the hospital. In his eyes there is a silent but unmistakable spark, the fire of revenge for his murdered family. With this final shot, the movie ends. And if you made it to the end of this recap, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next recap. Have a great evening wherever you are.